All right, hello guys.
Hello, welcome back.
Welcome back, episode 4
Woohoo.
of the Hello podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in once again.
I wonder if
Hey, Vincenz.
I wonder if we'll go to like episode 40. Episode 4 is such like a little baby.
It's like, we're still in the infancy stage. We're still in like, the cute little part where we're still like nice and cute and new. But yeah, 40 would be cool.
One day.
And then and then past that 400.
Oh dear.
Who knows?
A lot. That's a lot of episodes.
That's a lot of episodes. That is a lot.
But I'm good.
Yeah.
How are you doing? How was your week?
Yeah, it was pretty chill. We were up at Newcastle for a couple of days there over Australia Day and things like that. Weather was really nice. We were right near the
That's
beach and
good.
stuff, so it was pretty chill. How about you? What did you get up to this week?
I don't remember. I feel like I slept a lot during the weekend.
Yeah, that's always a good thing to sort of do, I think.
I think we just
I was the same. After going to the beach like almost all day and things like that, or for a couple of hours every afternoon, I feel like I just like am ruined and things like that. So I always have to like sort of just lie down and chill or something. It really does take it out of you.
You're like Flash, your dog, basically. Like get all your energy out and then crash for the rest of the day.
But that's the thing, is because I like swimming in like the sort of surf and stuff like that. I don't like swimming at the calmer waters.
Right.
It is quite intensive to sort of always be like jumping or going under waves or like, catching waves and stuff like that. So I sort of am basically just like waking up in the morning, getting ready, going to the beach, getting all my energy out, and then just crashing as soon as it hits like 3 or 4 p.m.
It's a good workout.
It really is. It really is. I would recommend it.
It is a nice lifestyle.
But
we're in the gaming lifestyle as well, so
well,
stay
that's
indoors.
It. Yeah. That's literally the thing I did when I came home, was straight away turn the computer on, pump out and edit and stuff like that, and then start playing some games and things. We were playing, me and Emma bought our Switches up and we were playing Super Mario 64 the entire week.
Oh, really?
The entire week. Oh, man. I fell back in love with that game, I think. Yeah,
Oh, yeah?
It really is a gem.
Let's
I think
try
that's my
it.
first. I think it's the first game that I remember ever really playing.
Right.
Like, I think, back on the N64.
Do you know when it came out?
97, I think, 1997 from memory.
Mm.
So a year before I was born.
Oh, okay.
And then and they re-released it on Switch last year, middle of last year sometime.
For the All-Stars.
And as soon as I saw it, I was like, man, I'm picking that right up.
Yeah, it's a good pack for everyone who played in those games.
I would recommend picking it up as soon as possible, though, on physical edition if possible, or even if you can get it, like if not, get it on the Nintendo Store, because I think they're taking it down.
Yeah.
March, I want to say, sounds familiar.
I wonder why.
Who knows? I feel like it's because they're gonna want to release them individually. I want to say. So, like, you'd have to buy Super Mario 64 by itself. You have to buy Super Mario Sunshine by itself. You have to buy Super Mario Galaxy by itself. Things like that.
That'd be a big rip for those who didn't buy all three and wanted to buy all three. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. If you guys are on the fence about it, I'd recommend picking it up right now because you might be paying like $30 a game. I don't know if they make it that expensive, but you'd be paying a fee.
I mean, hopefully they won't be charging like $60 like they usually do.
I don't think so. I don't think it's worth. No way. Yeah, 20-year-old game worth $60. I don't know. That's a bit rich. And saying that it is Nintendo, so they can sort of do whatever they want. I guess. You
just never know.
And people will probably still buy it even if it was $60. Like, that's the scary part, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah. Well, I guess, did you want to start, getting into our topics of this week? We have a handful of topics, again, similar to last week's episode, handful of smaller ones, and then a really sort of deep one maybe to end off. I don't know how deep we're going to go into it because we don't really understand it all, but we'll save that for the end, so make sure you keep listening.
But yeah,
Topic one.
Xbox
Yeah.
have increased prices for Xbox Live Gold.
Well, hang on. They haven't increased them. They were going to. We should do it in like the past tense sense. Yeah.
I see.
So they were going to increase. Yeah, last week sometime I saw a tweet. I woke up and Xbox was like, "Yep, we're increasing the price of Live Gold." And then by about this on the same day, by about 3 or 4 p.m. in the afternoon, they'd reverted their decision. Yep.
Because of backlash?
They said, "Psych." Yeah, backlash. Big backlash.
True.
Yeah, so the 1 month plan was typically $10 a month, Australian at least. That was going up $1 to $11 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Not that big of a deal.
Not the
The 3 month plan was $25 when it was going up to $30, a little bit more expensive. The 6 month plan was $40, and it was going to go up to $60. But only for new customers. So if you already had like a 6 month plan paid, obviously, or something like that, obviously you're still only paying the $40. Or I don't know if it was a continuation. So if you already had the 6 month plan, if you continue that 6 month plan, it was going to be $40 still, or something like that. I'm not too sure. But
I
the
don't
$46
have
is quite
Live,
a big jump.
So I can't
No,
really
me
say.
neither. And I don't know how many people do these days as well, which is why I think they sort of up their price, because a lot of people have reverted to the Game Pass Ultimate, I think, which is 15 Australian a month, I want to say, or 20, which includes normal Game Pass and stuff like that, and also the new EA sort of side of it, the EA Play Game Pass thing. And then it also gives you Xbox Live Gold month to month as well, which is a pretty good deal, I think.
Considering that Xbox Live Gold is a separate thing that you have to pay for.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So like people would be out there with normal Xbox Live Game Pass for $10 a month, whatever it is, and then also paying $40 for 6 months of Xbox Live Gold. So it'll add up by the end of the the year and stuff like that.
Totally.
I remember back when I first got my Xbox 360, we didn't have Wi-Fi in the house and stuff like that, so I never really got Xbox Live Gold until a couple of years later when we finally got it. And then I want to say $70 or $80 a year total.
Okay.
Which is why it was quite crazy that they increased the 6 month plan to $60, which would have been like the same price of what it would have been to buy a year, 4 or 5 years ago and stuff like that. Which is pretty crazy. And then they also stopped selling the 12-month plan middle of last year. Because if you follow the sort of trend, I guess, of the plans that they increased, that would have made the 12 months of gold cost about $120 a year.
Which is a hefty price.
That's a whole game, basically.
That's like a AAA game on release.
Yeah.
Maybe if you were lucky.
Yeah, if you were lucky, you could probably get 2 games out of that, AAA games, new releases. Like, that's, And so, understandably so, a lot of people were not happy with the decision that Microsoft made. And so, like I said, within about 5 hours or something, they reverted their decision. It was good that they listened, I guess.
Yeah.
Because
it seemed very unnecessary.
Yeah, it was very out of the blue. It was very sort of like, it was probably like on a Monday morning or whatever that I woke up and read it all. So it was very sort of random, which is what makes it a bit weirder again, I guess.
Well, at least they're listening, because I don't think that would have done very well for them at all if they did go on to do those prices. Yeah. And also, like you said, no one's probably buying the live subscriptions anymore. They're just probably going the Game Pass, which is actually great. I don't know about you, this year of Xbox Game Pass has been so good for me. Like the list of games.
See, I did have it last year, through most of last year and stuff like that. I don't have an Xbox. I have a PS5 and a PC and then a Switch. But you can get Game Pass for PC.
Yeah.
And so I did have it for the better part of last year, but I stopped sort of subscribing to it because I just wasn't using it as much as what I was previously using and stuff like that. Like I've really started soaking all my time into Minecraft and those sorts of games which aren't on Game Pass. So it's like no real biggie.
Yeah.
But it is, yeah. From what I experienced and what I played and what I used of it, it was a really good service for the price. Like, I would recommend it to anyone out there that does have an Xbox or something like that, or a PC and wants some more games. Check out the Games Pass because
and you can get
not
some
sponsored,
not at all.
but
but you can get like some good games on launch on Game Pass.
Massive games on
launch, which is great.
Yeah.
I'm gonna like skip ahead because I feel like this is a good segue to it. But on recording, which is what, Friday the 29th?
This is a Friday this week. Bit late, yeah.
Bit late.
Yeah.
But The Medium, which is a game that I've heard about and have been really curious about because I do like horror games. That's coming out on Xbox Game Pass. So if you already had a subscription, that game is in there in your library, sitting there.
Ready to go
on release.
You just gotta download it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk about this game a little bit because it is one of our topics today. But it's basically this new psychological horror game by the Bloober team who did Blair Witch, Observer, and Layers of Fear. So they had this. Can I just say,
that team name, Bloober team, amazing. I love it.
It's like great. Blooper. You'd want to say Blooper, but you say it's an interesting name. I think they're a Polish company, if I'm not mistaken. But,
that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, with the games that they've done previously, they're really good with horror. Layers of Fear was a great game. Blair Witch was like this cult classic movie. So I can't remember a lot of the Blair Witch game, to be honest.
I don't think it was relatively well received from memory. But a lot of people were saying it wasn't what it could have been and stuff like that. It sort of felt a little bit flat or something in terms of horror and things. It was sort of more I don't know how I'd explain it, but it just wasn't what people were sort of wanting and stuff. Again, I'm just going to segue back to what we talked about. Blair Witch also on Games Pass.
Yes.
So if you want to check that out, can you give that a check out? But yeah, I did. I was on Steam last night just having a look at some sales and things like that, and I saw The Medium was on one of their top banners and things, as coming out and stuff like that, saying to pre-order now and all these sorts of things. And so I had a little look at it. It looks quite interesting.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, its primary focus is this use of a split screen. So basically the main character, Marianne, is a spirit guide, and she's lured into the Polish hinterland, hoping to uncover the origins of her clairvoyant abilities. And so when she's exploring this abandoned, I want to say it's an abandoned hotel in. It
looks like I was watching Back Pocket play it just over my lunch break, and it did look like there was it was in an abandoned hotel or something like that.
Yeah, and I saw in the comments of a YouTube video of the trailer or gameplay, one of them, they were saying that it's a real hotel in Poland that you can actually visit. So it must have some sort of background of maybe some hauntings.
Yeah, maybe. being a little bit spirit heavy or something. Okay.
But basically it's kind of puzzly, kind of mystery, psychological horror. So I love puzzles, and it uses this whole split screen where you're in the real world and you're in this I don't know what they call it, but I guess they call it a spirit world.
Yeah, I'd say it the underworld or something like that. But I don't know how else I'd explain it.
I know most games who do this sort of split, they do it one by one. So you're either in the spirit world or you're in the real world setting. Whereas this game, that's what I was going to say as well.
I don't think I've ever seen a game or something like that do this in this sort of way, where they have it playing. You literally, I saw the gameplay that I watched. When you move in, let's call it the overworld, the real world. When you move in the overworld, your character in the underworld moves in the exact same way and stuff like that. And there's just for example, a desk in the overworld and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It might not be a desk in the underworld. It might be something a little bit different or something like that. And on the desk in the overworld, it might have a couple of things on it, a computer or a telephone, but in the underworld, it has a piece of scrap paper or something like that. So you sort of got to look at both screens at sort of similar times or at different times and stuff like that to sort of get through all these puzzles or all these little environmental challenges, I guess.
Which I like.
Yeah, it seems pretty fun. You might be checking out this afternoon on stream, I think, as well.
I might be, or maybe next week, but I definitely do want to give it a shot just because I do like my horror games, and it's a puzzle game, so it's like the best of both worlds,
honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Best of both worlds.
So, yeah, that's interesting, and that is on Game Pass if you guys wanted to check it out. I think Game Pass does trials, so if you wanted to check it out without committing, you can just do a trial.
You have to have not had Game Pass in the past though. Yes. Like if you already have an existing account, you can't get the trial, unfortunately. But
essentially, you can get this game for $15 if you just signed up for Game Pass for a month. Anyways, we're not sponsored by them. What it'd normally be. We're just trying to help you out with the bang for buck kind
I'm gonna look
thing.
at the camera. Microsoft, what's up, bro? You know what to do. I guess continuing with the sort of horror vibe. Last week, Resident Evil did a Resident Evil showcase, or basically like a little, I guess, demo gameplay sort of thing of all the new things that are happening in the Resident Evil world or universe and stuff like that. And there was a pretty big dump of information. I didn't know it was happening. I woke up and was like, oh, damn, okay.
Yeah,
there's
I just
a demo.
saw screenshots.
There's a new
everywhere.
gameplay video. There's a whole new game that was like, sort of announced. It was a whole bunch of stuff. So I guess we'll just start at the top with like the release date of Resident Evil Village or Resident Evil 8 coming out on May 7th this year. So it's only like 4 months away or something like that, 3 or 4 months away. Right around the corner. I can't wait to get my hands.
I love when games do this. Tease a game when it's close to release. Do not tease a game when it's 2 or 5 years down in the pipeline.
Yeah.
Or tease a game and just have no release date. That'd be great.
Honestly, well, that's the thing as well, is like it can shoot them in the foot very easily.
Exactly.
Like
Cyberpunk.
I was talking to a friend just earlier this morning, and he was wondering when the new Lego Star Wars game was coming out. And I said, mate, I honestly still don't know. Like, because they still haven't had a release date announced for it, since they pushed it back from last year's release date. And so I just did a quick little Google and stuff like that to see if there was maybe any new info that I haven't seen. And there's a bunch of rumors that it was coming out Q2, so like sort of towards the middle of this year. Yeah. Which again would only be a couple of months away, and people were leaning towards it being a May 4th release date for it being Star Wars Day. Yeah, being Star Wars Day, and that also still falls in Q2 and stuff like that. So, and that'd be cool as well, because like there hasn't been any news on it. There hasn't been any release date teasing since of August last year. It said in the article that I read, or something like that. So to come out in like a month or a couple of weeks or something and be like, yeah, the game's releasing in 2.5 months, that would be cool. Like, because again, it just doesn't lead anyone on. It doesn't tease them. It doesn't leave them hanging for more info. It just like it's around the corner.
Well, fingers crossed. Really.
Yeah, fingers crossed it does, follow that. And same with Resident Evil. I don't think there's going to be any late stage delays. Like we played the demo last week. We'll put the eye thing up in the top right hand corner of the YouTube video and stuff like that. Go and check that out if you haven't already.
It's a very short demo, and I highly recommend. Is it still available?
Yeah, it's still available. I think it was coming out on other consoles and things like that in the coming weeks leading up to release. But at the moment, I still think it's only a PS5 exclusive. So if you don't have a PS5, probably have to wait a couple of weeks or something like that. But just keep your eyes on the whatever store you use, and there'll be a demo and things like that. But yeah, from the demo, it looks like it's almost finished and stuff like that, Again, take that with a giant grain of salt, because it was only like meant to be a 15 or so minute demo. It was, But I'm excited. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going for this supernatural horror, gothic, werewolves and vampires kind of thing.
Very gothic, yeah.
So, which is interesting because they've never really done a supernatural side of.
No, yeah. Like I said in I think the first episode we talked about it, like they've only really ever done sort of zombies or zombie-like creatures. So to get like vampires and werewolves and things like that in this one, really cool. Can't wait to see what they sort of do with the whole sort of enemy structure and things like that. And they've also says like in here they also had like a bunch of sort of new gameplay features, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's still going to be the first person like gameplay from Resident
Yeah.
Evil 7. Resident Evil 7 was like sort of the first Resident Evil game to do that first person combat solely, like just first person. All the other Resident Evil games have been in like third person and things. So they
Yeah.
brought that back, but they also said they introduced a new like melee sort of element in terms of like blocking and counters and things like that, which is really cool.
That's interesting. That's a
'Cause
first.
yeah, in like in all the other Resident Evils that I've sort of played, there's never been anything like that. You sort of just basically have to
You're
either
kind of
dodge
helpless.
naturally or just run around in circles. Yeah, you sort of are helpless. So to be able to fight back against some of these things without like having a knife
Yeah.
deplete or, you know, use your bullets and things like that is going to be pretty cool.
Like it's
going to add a new
nothing
layer.
new to any game genre, really.
No,
but the fact that it's new to this sort of setting, it'll be better, I guess. You'll feel
very
less
interesting,
helpless.
at least. Yeah, I think so, and that's the thing as well. Is like I sort of hate playing on the harder difficulties.
Yeah, I bet.
In a sense, because you go through some of your ammo so quick and you have to be so selective, and then you sort of feel like you got to cheat the rest of the game in like
run and
really
hide
dodging. Yeah, in really dodging some of the creatures and things that are coming after you and stuff like that. So, you know, to have an ability to be able to fight back even when you don't have any physical weapons or things on you is going to be pretty cool, I think.
Totally.
And like I said, it's going to add a whole new layer to the whole exploration and like, you know, combat focusedness of it all, I would say. I don't know. But again, in some other news as well, like this is what I mean when I say a massive dump. They basically announced an entire new game. And I'm going to say entire in quotations because it's called Resident Evil Reverse. I don't know how they're going to stylize it. But it's basically looks like it's just a multiplayer sort of game and stuff like that that's going to come free bundled with any purchase of Resident Evil 8.
Wow.
And so it looks like from the screenshots, I don't know if they had any gameplay. I'll try and find some if there is. I'll put some up behind us. But from the screenshots and stuff like that, it looks like it's set in like the Raccoon City. Like there might be a couple of maps or things like that, but what they showcased was a bunch of players running around in the Raccoon City police station and stuff like that. And it looks like you can pick sort of any sort of character that they've decided to put in from the previous Resident Evil games. So there's like the dad from like Resident Evil 7. I forget his name now, but like the main enemy and stuff like that. You can play as like the main characters from Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3. All that sort of stuff.
So would it be
and
like...
it basically looks like I don't know if it's it looks like it's maybe just a team deathmatch sort of thing. I don't. It's not a battle royale like thing. I don't think. But
maybe it's like Dead by
but
Daylight.
I don't know. Maybe I'm not sure, to be honest with you. Yeah, it says it was gonna like. Yeah, I mean they could very easily add in a Dead by Daylight sort of game mode. That I don't think that would be too hard.
Yeah, and I feel like Dead by Daylight would be a better gameplay mode than a team deathmatch.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Having someone be the enemy, and then
it took me a bit aback because I wouldn't call, I don't know, I wouldn't call the gameplay sort of like style of Resident Evil to be multiplayer focused in any sort of way.
Although,
like the gunplay sometimes feels a little bit clunky. The melee sort of sometimes feels a little bit clunky and stuff like that. So to be able to put players together using that sort of, I guess, gameplay.
Didn't they do a co-op
might be a
for
bit
one
weird,
of the Resident Evils?
Like I think Resident Evil 5 or 6. Resident Evil 5 or 6. You could play it co-op and things like that. And they're some of the more negatively rated Resident Evil games, I'm going to say. So I don't know if it's going to work for them, which is why, again, it was quite surprising they've sort of gone back and been like, yeah, there's another multiplayer part to Resident Evil. I mean, I guess you can't really be mad if they're going to give it to you for free when you get, free quotations, when you get Resident Evil 8.
Yeah, like it's not something you buy standalone, which is at least there's no risk factor in it.
Exactly, yeah.
If you were already going to buy Village. That is.
And they did the same thing. I forget what the game was, but they did it. I can look it up real quick here. But they did for Resident Evil 3. When you bought Resident Evil 3, you got Resident Evil Resistance. That's what it's called, which is, I would call this similar to Dead by Daylight in the sense that like there's one player that's working against the other 3 or 4 players,
right?
That are trying to escape. Like you can spawn zombies on them, you can control cameras and like taser them or shoot them and things like that. Yeah, it was that game. And they did the same thing they're doing at this, by the sounds of it, where they just, if you bought Resident Evil 3, you got Resident Evil Resistance for free, which was pretty cool. And I think you could get Resistance afterwards for an additional payment if you didn't want Resident Evil 3 or something like that. I'm not sure. But yeah, so I don't know. They look like they're sort of focusing a lot more again on multiplayer things, which is cool. Because there's not much multiplayer horror out there, I don't think.
Not really.
Besides Dead by Daylight,
Dead by Daylight, Left 4 Dead.
I think that would, Dead by Daylight is the biggest one at the moment, I feel. I know a lot of people love Left 4 Dead, but I don't know if their play base is as big at the moment as Left 4 Dead's and stuff like that. So who knows? But yeah.
But yeah, they also teased another thing as well during the showcase.
Yeah, it was a they've announced this sort of stuff in the past at like a different sort of time. I think they sort of just tweeted it and stuff like that.
Oh, have they?
Yeah, from memory, because it's not new news.
Right, okay.
But they've sort of partnered with Netflix and stuff like that, and they're doing an animated movie and an animated TV show or 2. I think something like that. So they showcase basically a couple of screenshots and things like that, I think, from the Netflix animated movie, which I think is coming up first before the TV series.
Right. It's called Infinite Darkness, for those who are wondering.
Yeah.
Did the screenshots, did it show you where it might be based on which Resident Evil?
Oh, I don't know.
Right. Okay.
I can try and find some and put them up behind us, but yeah, I'm honestly not sure. I think they might be trying to keep. I would assume it would be in Raccoon City, like that is classic. The most quintessential, sort of location. I think in the Resident Evil verse, the RE verse again. There you go.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, but then like it, I think they're also going to have some of the iconic characters and stuff like that. So I think Leon's going to be in it and all that sort of stuff. From like the older games and things, which would again be really cool to sort of see a new take on Resident Evil, because they have done movies in the past. There's been some Resident Evil movies, but they weren't that popular,
right?
Because it goes back on the old stereotype that like 99% of movies that come out that are based on video games are utter trash. I don't think I can honestly list a movie off the top of my head without Googling it that's based off a video game that I have solely enjoyed. I don't think I can. And so that's the,
Although I think there are a lot of like video game TV shows / movies coming out down the pipeline. Like Fallout
actually,
is one of them.
Yeah, you know what? I take that back. The Sonic movie.
Actually, the Sonic movie was not that bad. For Sonic lovers,
yeah, I went in with really low expectations, and I'm not even a really big Sonic player. Like, I grew up on Nintendo. I didn't grow up on Sega and stuff like that. I don't really enjoy Sonic the video game that much. But I really enjoyed it, so I take back what I said. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sonic would be the one that I can list off the top of my head
yeah.
that I have enjoyed recently. Yeah.
And I guess maybe
they're doing a Fallout movie.
Anyways.
Yeah, I think Pokemon's a reverse because it was like, where did it start? I can't remember if the anime was first or if it was the video. It wasn't the video game, I don't think, or if it was the card game, because they sort of all spawned from one another, I guess.
Game.
Like, yeah, anyways. I can't remember.
But yeah, there's like a whole bunch of like video game TV shows / movies coming up. I can't list them all, but I know it's Fallout. I want to say... Oh, wait, Cuphead is doing something, right?
I can't wait for that one. Yeah.
I can't remember. Witcher? Witcher's already done one, sorry.
Witcher's already... Yeah, they're doing a season 2 of Witcher coming out this year. And I also think the Cuphead one's coming out this year, I want to say.
I'm really excited for the Cuphead one if it is coming out this year, because Cuphead is just a beautiful, like, work of art. From the music to
like, it is
animation.
A bitch of a game to play. A bitch of a game to play.
Which
the art style and the music and
hopefully
just
you would have seen the video of us playing Cuphead already by now.
Yeah, I think by the time this podcast goes up, the Cuphead video should be live on the channel, so definitely go and check that one out as well. I had the little eye thing up in the top corner again for that. Oh my god, I slept like a rock that night.
Me too.
Yeah.
Did you want to move on to the this?
Well, I guess our deep
topic.
and dirty topic. Yeah, deep and dirty topic for the week.
And a major topic for today, really, because
just the entire week. I feel like
probably.
it's been boiling and stuff like that for a little while now, but it's now just sort of blown up. But GameStop, people are just buying GameStop stocks.
And like a huge disclaimer over the top before we delve into this topic
big
further.
asterisks.
Like, we don't do stocks. I don't know what to talk about with stocks. I'm not.
I have tried looking at like 3 or 4 different dumbed down like descriptions of like what's been happening for the past week, and I am still relatively confused. Like I understand little parts of it, but the grand scheme of things, I really don't think I have a grasp on.
But we're gonna try and talk about it regardless. Because
we sort of just wanted to bring it up because it was a major topic in video games this week. Because like for those that don't know, GameStop is basically a physical retail store. Yeah, for the non-Australian viewers or for the Australian viewers, sorry. GameStop is the EB Games in North America and stuff like that.
Where you buy games at a physical store.
Yeah, it's a physical retail store. It's not an online store like Amazon or eBay or anything like that. It is a physical store like what EB Games is. And yeah, people have been buying GameStop stocks pretty much non-stop.
For a while.
For like the past little while now.
They've been severely undervalued, which is why people are buying them.
So my understanding, and I'm going to put a massive asterisk on this again. This is my understanding. A bunch of people at Wall Street, I don't know what I would classify them as, but a bunch of people at Wall Street, I think, they basically bet on the fact that GameStop would go under at some point, which was probably going to happen because physical retail stores, especially video game retail stores, have just been going shit for business for the past couple of years now. But they basically bet a bunch of money, millions of dollars, I think, on the fact that GameStop was going to go under and belly up at some point, which was going to be pretty true. So they would have made a fair return and stuff like that, I think, on this bet. And so a bunch of people on our Wall Street Bets, which is a subreddit, caught onto this and were like, no, you know what? Let's stick it to them. And they basically started buying a bunch of GameStop stocks because they were severely undervalued. They were like, I think $4.50 or something like that a stock or something like that. So they were relatively cheap. So a bunch of people bought like heaps of these stocks and they started shooting up the value of GameStop. And so the people that had bet all this money on the fact that they would go under started losing money because GameStop was doing better in the market and things like that. And so there was one major firm that I can't remember, honestly. I haven't written anything down on this, so this is all me just sort of spitballing and talking out of my ass, which is why I put the big asterisk at the start.
Are you talking about the app? I know the app.
No, so there was Robinhood, which this morning halted purchases of the GameStop stock and a couple other little ones because people were also differentiating and buying like a bunch of other smaller stocks again. But yeah, Robinhood and a couple of other apps stopped trading for GameStop, which is pretty shit. But no, there was this major firm,
Wall Street, but
basically to protect the millionaires and billionaires that had invested in the stock market and GameStop itself and all this sort of thing. But yeah, apparently there was they'd lost like 13 million, one company, or something crazy like that.
From this,
which is from this, Oof. Or something like that. I don't know. Again,
we don't know. Our knowledge is very
get a salt lick,
right
put it
now.
next to you. Yeah, take a salt lick, put it next to you, lick it because take this with a giant grain of salt. I don't know, 100%.
Maybe we should be trading in stocks right now.
What a time to be alive, like I've just been reveling in and just bathing in all the memes that have been coming up from this. It's been great, you know, just to see all these like sort of really rich billionaires and millionaires start sweating in their pants because like basically just a couple of Reddit kids caught on and were like, you know what? I want to get in on this. And like, yeah.
But the sad thing is the rich people are winning in the fact that they're being protected by these trading apps who are now restricting trading for other people, which...
And there's a whole nother side to it. There's like a political side. There's like a socio-economic side. There's like a fucking, you know, there's all this sort of, which is why we didn't really want to delve into it that much because it is quite heavy sort of topic than what we're normally used to on this podcast. And we're no experts. Again, I play Mario. Like that's my claim to fame.
I do Sims. That's all I know.
Yeah, that's my expertise. You know, ask me about Mario and the Mario universe, I'll tell you. Ask me about stock market, I don't know as much. But yeah, just you know,
it's just interesting.
Yeah, coronavirus, bushfires, fucking people storming the Capitol in North America, and then all of a sudden, you know, we flip the stock market on its head, like. When's it going to end? When are we just going to have like sort of a calm 2 months where no big news events happen, you know? Like,
that'd be nice.
I just want to chill for a bit, please. But yeah, I guess that's all our topic sort of for this week. If you guys have any thoughts about, you know, anything that's been happening that we talked about this week, you know, Resident Evil stuff, GameStop stuff, you know, all that sort of jazz. Let us know in the comments below or email us and things like that. If we get some emails or things, we might read them out one time on a podcast. That would be pretty cool, I think.
I'd really like to do like a story sharing email. Obviously, if you wanted to be anonymous, we'd keep that anonymous.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
But also like to talk about our stories and maybe do an AMA one day.
Yeah, Q&A sort of thing. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys have any ideas about that sort of stuff, be sure to let us know. Is there anything else you want to add this week, Jens?
I don't think so.
Don't
think
so?
So. Nothing new.
Yeah.
Nothing more to add except thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting. I think we reached 150 listens. Oh, sorry, downloads.
Yeah, shit, really?
They call.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully we keep going and hopefully you guys are still enjoying it. And like you said, if you guys have any feedback or anything you want to say, feel free to email us, which is in the
Please
comments.
Let us know. Good feedback, bad feedback. All of it's fun and exciting for us and stuff like that. So yeah, please let us know.
Yeah.
But I guess, we can sign off now for this week. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next week. Yeah. Goodbye.
Goodbye.